Let's return now to our top story, where Canada is officially set to begin its own review of the Canada-U.S. Mexico trade deal. CTV's Judy Trinh was at the scrum with both the Minister of Finance and the Minister responsible for Canada-U.S. trade. Judy, we did hear from Dominic LeBlanc. The official process of consultation is going to kick off today. Give us some details in case people missed that.
That's right. Dominic LeBlanc said that he wants to hear from industry. He wants to hear from Canadian business investors, as well as regular people in terms of what their concerns are about the CUSMA deal and how to improve it for Canadians. This matches what the Americans are doing. They announced last week that they were earlier this week that they were going to do this. So that now the processes are aligned. We understand that Mexico is also in a similar situation in which they have also begun the same level of consultation. What Dominic LeBlanc is saying is also that the fact that the Americans want to conduct this review process, have started this look at consultations, is actually good. In terms of the three partners involved in this trade agreement, any one of them could decide to back out, and therefore the U.S. has signaled that it wants to renegotiate. So for them, for Dominic LeBlanc, it's a good sign because it shows that there is a certain faith in the CUSMA and confidence in the North American Trade Agreement, and shows that perhaps the U.S. will not do what it did the last time around, in which it tried to negotiate a side deal with Mexico, cutting Canada out back in 2018, Matt.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up too, G. We've seen this. We've seen this playbook before, so this is interesting in the fact that this development is going to be along the similar lines here, at least at this point. Take us through the timeline, and I know we're going to learn a little bit more, but what we're expecting from this review, how long it might last, just based on what we know right now, and when the possibility of these three parties actually will sit down together.
All right. So in terms of when the review or the CUSMA agreement officially expires, or that deadline in which they should need to officially set down and start looking at a new agreement, that is in June 2026. However, on the U.S. side has 45 days of public consultations, and then they will hold a public hearing on November 17th. So their timeline is slightly ahead of ours. So what we know is that this is an act in regards to reopening the North American Trade Agreement. It requires an act of Congress. So this is something that the Trump administration is following. They're following it to the letter of the law. So this is the process. In terms of Canada, will have to align that process because we will also have to have that date in which we sit down. But it is going to be months before that happens. Matt, you know, in one of what we've learned, though, is that Canada and Mexico are very aware of the level of perhaps uncertainty and distrust there may have been in the past. You know, harken back to last year when Premier Ford and Premier Danielle Smith said that we should cut Mexico out and negotiate directly with the U.S. So it's not just, you know, mistrust of the Canadians on the Mexicans. The Mexicans are also wary of what some Canadian politicians. So this whole trip is about aligning those ties between Canada and Mexico to establish, strengthening those ties so that we are on stronger footing when we enter into those negotiations for the CUSMA.
Very true. CTV's Judy Trinh live for us again from Mexico City. Thanks again, Judy. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.